guys, it is Erin or Gimme Yarn 418, and I am here with Thank God It's Finished. I think this is 4 weeks in a row that I've had a video on a Friday. It's pretty epic. Today I have a bunch of finished objects, some works in progress, an announcement about a hangout, the winners of our knit and crochet along, and some introductions. And I kind of had like a quasi book review, but not really. I'm just going to show you some things that I have up next. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. We'll start with the finished objects. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 things that I had to ship out that I'll be inserting photos of here. The first one was one of my Bernese Mountain Dog hats. It's my own pattern. I don't sell it. I don't share it. The second one is a pink baby sweater and hat, and as always, links to available patterns can be found on my Ravelry page. And the final 2 items are Nelson the Owl by Fresh Stitches. It's a pay-for pattern on Ravelry, and I will insert a picture of those items here. So those items have all gone out in the mail, and I think probably have been received at this point. I was really glad to get them done because I'm feeling a little burnt out order-wise. I have no pending orders right now, and I am giving myself a vacation. I am only going to work on things for us, things that I want to work on at any given moment, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm just going to take, a week, maybe 2 weeks to just decompress. It's been pretty steady from August until now, so I really do need that break. Next thing I have, or things, is last week after I got the video up, I did a bunch of sewing, a bunch of project bags. The drawstring bags are a pay-for pattern that I got from Craftsy, which I'll insert a link to in the description below. And the zipper bags, they're just pretty self-explanatory if you know how to make a bag. But I didn't use a pattern for those. The first one I made was a Sesame Street bag, and it has the boxed bottom. These are all bags for myself. And Kristen, actually. The next bag I made was a sewing machine bag. I should have stuffed these so you could see what they really look like. I already got it. There's that one. The next bag I made was for Kristen, which she was just asking me if I needed it back, but I just went in and stole it and she didn't even realize. And I made her a project bag because you're not a knitter if you don't have a project bag. That's not true. But I told her, she said, well, do you want your bag back? And I said, no, you can use my bag, but you need your own too. So I made her this one because she really likes this fabric. She said it reminds her of Life is Good. We'll keep going with the drawstring bags. Those are not new. This is one of my all-time favorite fabrics, and this is the last little bit of it I had left. I had never made anything for myself with it, and we got it for like 50 cents a yard at Joann's on a mega clearance, and that's the fabric. I just think it's adorable, and I just made a green top with that one. Another drawstring. I don't think I'm going in the order I made these. In fact, I know I'm not. And this is the final bag that I made. Drawstring, anyway. Like I said, I will put a link to the pattern for these. This pattern comes with the measurements to make a variety of sizes. It's pretty straightforward if you know how to sew. Oh, this has a ball band in it because I was using it. Then I made myself 2 zipper bags. I did use medium weight interface on these. I didn't use interfacing on the drawstring bags. This is the first one, and I lined it in some big dots, which I thought complemented the outside fabric really well. And the other bag I made, actually I need that for my work in progress. Another sheep bag was this one, and inside I did a striped fabric. And my zipper skills are improving a little. This zipper was actually the best one I think I've ever done, so there's that. I didn't bring a pen to check off what I'm doing. Oh well. The last thing I did sewing-wise was I found a pattern, well, a tutorial on Pinterest for a wallet, and I decided to give it a shot. And there's one side of it. Yes, sheep. There's the other side. Now, what I will say about this pattern is that I wish I had used the sheep fabric to line the billfold. My ones. I think I have $5 in ones here. But I was just using scrap, and I had never done this pattern before. And the other thing is, I wish I had used a smaller snap, but this is all I had on me. I had in the house, so I used that. And it's perfectly fine for myself. If I was going to make another one, I would use a smaller snap. I actually purchased smaller ones to try on another wallet with some of my scraps. And like I said, I would put the main fabric inside the billfold. And I would probably more strategically place the fabric if it was a pattern fabric like this again, because that's the side you can't really see. You get one sheep butt and a couple sheep heads, and on this side you don't really have anything, because when you close the snap you have one sheep head and some legs. But it was a good pattern. It was easy to follow, and you can't beat free. My last finished object is knitting, and it is my Fruit Stripes gum socks. I think they're just called Fruit Stripes socks. I don't know. Free pattern on Ravelry. I used the fish lips kiss heel, and what I did to maintain the striping down the front was I took the opposite end of the ball and I knit the heel with the opposite end of the ball, and then picked back up the working yarn to continue down the foot. They came out really well. This is my first fish lips kiss heel for myself, and it fit me really well, and I think this might be my new favorite heel. I tried the OMG heel. I didn't like that one for myself. I didn't like the fit of it. And what else? What other heel? And I also, for toe up, I like the socks on a plain heel. But I think that's going to be the one I use from now on, because I really do prefer cuff down socks. I'm not sure why. So that's all my finished objects. And I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I'm sorry if it's loud. That was loud. I apologize. Next, we're going to go into works in progress. The first thing is the owl afghan that I showed last week. And I was trying to finish this morning, but I think I'm going to try and block it because there's something about it that I don't like. So I got the owl part of it done, and I don't know if you can see on the video. Yeah, you can. The edge is ruffled. And this is just acrylic Pound of Love yarn. I'm thinking of trying to block the center panel before I continue on, because otherwise I'm going to rip out these stripes. I have a bunch more stripes to do to make it baby size. I'm going to rip out these stripes and go down a hook size, maybe 2, because the ruffling is really bothering me. I want it to lay nice and flat. The owl, I will say, the pattern was great. It was a pay-for pattern, easy to follow, but changing colors in the middle of the row is really hard for me, and as you can see down here, you can see the cream yarn through, because they have you carry the main color throughout, but none of the other colors. Did that just really happen? My screen just flashed on the camera, so I don't know if that's going to come through in the video. We'll have to wait and see. So that's that. I'm pleased. I don't know if I would do another one of these just because I didn't really enjoy the changing of the colors. And then, of course, there is that. All knitters and crocheters love to weave in their ends, don't they? So I'll have to tackle that. But first, like I said, I'm going to try and block the owl panel to just spray block it and lay it out because I really can't deal with that ruffling. Drives me bananas. I only have one other work in progress, and it's a pair of vanilla socks. It's knit on size 1.5 out of Opal, which is going to be backwards because I'm recording this in photo booth. Didn't think of that. And this is in one of the rainforest colors, and it has this little toucan on it, so I don't know if that's the colorway. But the colorway is 5140. This is the first time I'm knitting out of Opal. This is what the yarn looks like. And here's the sock. I'm just about ready to start the heel. And I'm enjoying this very much, and I want to knit more socks. I'm actually thinking I might be able to get this pair of socks done this weekend because this was like only a couple hours of knitting. That's all my works in progress. And, oh, I should put that back in there or I'm going to lose it. So the next thing is, what am I going to be working on next? And I didn't bring a couple things over, but that's okay. The first thing I want to knit on or work on is I want to make socks. I miss knitting socks. I want to knit a bunch of socks. Slowly, quickly, it doesn't really matter to me. I just want to make socks. The next thing is, I mentioned before many times, and I have the yarn for the Owl in One onesie. Well, I took out the pattern and I looked at some of the knit along videos here on YouTube, and I discovered that it is knit completely, almost completely, when you get into the round, in purl. So I don't know if I want to knit it anymore. I don't mind purling. I can purl back a row, but I don't know if I can do miles and miles and miles of purl stitches. I think it might just put me over the edge. So that is on pause. I might still do it, but I don't know. I might try and figure out if I can knit it inside out, because I really like it, but I can't commit to all that purl. The next thing I have up is I need to knit a Milo for a friend who's having their first child in this late spring, early summer. And I have to pick a cable for that, and I'm just knitting it out of Pound of Love in a blue color. She doesn't know if she's having a boy or a girl. Maybe I think a yellow Milo would be too much. So I think I'm going to do blue. And the other thing I'm going to be knitting is a shawl, yet to be determined, that I will probably start this week. And I'm going to be knitting it out of, this is backwards again, another Crafty Girl in the Gonzo color. And there it is, and it's Sparkle. This was gifted to me by Diane of the Knittables podcast. I had a couple picked out. I'm thinking of doing the TVG, I think it's called, the high-speed knitting. But then I thought of some other ones too. If you have any suggestions for a shawl out of a variegated fingering weight yarn, leave them below. Yeah, I don't really want to do anything with cables. That's my only caveat there. And then a couple other things, which goes into my kind of my book review thing. From 60 Quick Baby Knits, again backwards, I've seen a few people knitting this, and it's piqued my curiosity. There's a lot of purling in it, but there's a lot of knitting too, so I'm considering knitting this blanket, which is number 31. It's called Blue Diamonds, and it's out of 60 Quick Baby Knits. 60 quick baby blankets. The one in the pattern is done out of a bulky weight. I would probably just take a worsted and hold it double. And it's knit on size 9s. And Molly's going crazy. I'm trying to see how many rows it is. Ugh. 13, 16 row pattern repeats. So there's that. And the next thing, you all know I have all that scrap yarn, which to me, once I use up a skein or half of a skein or more, it becomes scrap for me. I have Topsy Turvy Inside Out Knit Toys by Susan B. Anderson. I love her patterns. I've knit a lot of her patterns. And there's a couple things in here that I think the first one I'm going to knit, I'm trying to find a picture, is the Happy to Sad Mouse. Just so I can get a feel for how the inside out knitting goes. What happens is you knit one and you turn it inside out and it becomes the other one. Actually, I think you just turn this one around. Maybe? Yeah, he's not inside out. I don't think. I don't know. More to come next week when I know what I'm talking about. I think he has a face on both sides. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he has a face on both sides. So maybe I won't knit him. The other one that I saw that I really like is, what's this one called? Bunny to Lamb. Which I am tempted to start because we're coming up on Easter time, and this would be a great little something to give to my niece for Easter. And the reason I bought this book is because I would like to knit this. I'm not there yet, but we'll see how it goes with one of the other ones. And then, oh, my legs are falling asleep. We'll pick one of those. The other book I have that's going to be great for using up scrap yarn, it actually says it in the title, is Rebecca Danger's 50 Yards of Fun Knitting Toys from Scrap Yarn. Again, backwards, I apologize. I don't know which ones I'm going to do, but I will just show you some of the patterns. The cactus here is shown in one of the pictures in a pot, and Kristen and I actually bought a pot when we went to Michael's, but by the time we got home it was broken. So there's some more little guys. I like the frog. I like the raccoon. I like them all. I really like the ninja. I'm wondering if he's in Tarja. I like the monkey too. I like the squirrel. I just love her patterns. And there's these ones. I've knit the platypus. I think that's the only one I've knit out of this. I really like the fish. I'm not a big fish person, but I like that fish. I love the hippo. I like the lumberjack too. I think he's pretty cute for a lumberjack. And then this is the last bit. I like the Bigfoot. I like the owl. I like the dog. Maybe I'll make the dog today. He's really cute. Just nice, quick, easy projects that I can use up all that scrap yarn that I've been talking about. So, next thing on the agenda is a sip of coffee. Tomorrow, what's the date tomorrow? Let's check my phone. February 22nd, 2014 at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be hosting a Google Hangout. The one requirement is that you have a set of headphones so that we can cut back on the feedback. So everybody can have an enjoyable time. I hope that if you're interested, you'll come and check us out. Leave a comment below if you're thinking of joining. When the Hangout is live, I will post the link 2 places. I will add the link to the description below this video, and I will also post a link on our Ravelry group page. And you just click that link and you join in. The next thing I have is the winners of our shawl knit and crochet along. I have chosen 2. I did it before this because my computer's kind of acting funky. Like I said, my screen just flashed. And I will be giving each of the winners a free gift, not a free, a giftable pattern of a value of $5 or under, and all you have to do is private message me on Ravelry and I will get that out to you. The first winner is number 17, and she knit a beautiful shawl, and I'm going to insert a picture of that here. And that was knit by Fall Little Star, and it's really pretty. I love how the yarn's striped a little bit. And the second winner was number 10, and again I'll insert a picture of that shawl here. That was knit by someone whose username I can't even begin to pronounce. So I think it's Ami Sarah Indy. Maybe I can pronounce it. I don't know. You'll have to let me know if I'm right or wrong, but it'll be down at the bottom of the screen. So both of you ladies, great job, and contact me and I will get the pattern of your choice out to you. It just has to be a giftable pattern from Ravelry. So that's all the knitting and administrative stuff. So let's get into the introductions. We had 5 people introduce themselves over on the Ravelry board this week. I am so happy to have so many people joining in. I apologize, my throat's really dry. Molly. So this is who introduced themselves in the order in which they were in the group. The first was Pacas in Maine. I don't know if it's like Pacas, like alpacas. It's a really cute name. Who's Michelle in Maine. Cocorific, who's Marie in Minnesota. Diane Mason 4, who's Diane in Tennessee. Orange Maid, who is Helen in Scotland. And Blue Cherub, who is Kim in, I think she said Nottingham, in the UK. So, welcome to the group. So glad to have you. Keep in mind, I mentioned last week, post in the Whip It Out Wednesday board on Wednesdays, and every once in a while I will pull and randomly PM you that somebody's won a prize, and I'll probably announce it on here too. I haven't done it yet, but you never know. You might be the lucky winner of something. So, I hope you're all doing well, and until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.